head and Scott.
Oh, perfect. Good.
And your back of your head.
Back of my
If you
head.
face me.
Oh,
How's your sandwich?
it's really good. Look over here.
Maybe.
She's got food on it. She don't want that food though.
No, I have to eat that food. I'm on that quinoa diet or something.
Oh, this is quinoa all the way.
You're on a diet, a queer way? Queer way diet?
I'm on the quinoa diet.
You are now on a ketosis diet where you also destroy chocolate all day.
Chocolate is in keto. No?
Sure.
Yeah, who agrees with me
Order
that chocolate is on the
Oh, drink
ketosis diet?
Coke.
It's not.
I think
Or
it
it's
is.
a sweet roll or sweet idea. And
Wait a minute. So y'all trying to tell me that keto is not?
I think you should be eating that.
Chocolate
Do you eat
is
that
not-
for dinner?
Yes, I eat this
Keto
for dinner.
avoids sugars and things that turn into sugars. Starches turn into sugars, so like you can't eat
No breads, no
potatoes or
pastas.
French
So
fries.
I just swap out
Carbs turn
H2O
into
for you
sugars.
with
Or
Can you
excess
say my
carbs
Diet
turn into
Coke is
sugars.
keto friendly?
That is correct.
Do you feel good about yourself? It's automatic, right?
Wait, so you're trying to tell me that Diet Coke is not keto friendly?
Let me actually be sure.
Okay, so we
He knows.
are going to talk about today
Ketosis and what is
ketosis. No.
Are we
Issues,
recording?
yes, we are. Issues we're seeing in today's market. So, yeah, issues, I tried to tell you. You don't listen, so. So, issues in today's market, Scott. What are we seeing?
Less buying power.
Less buying power. So today's market issues. Today's market trends.
Higher interest
Because
rates.
here's the thing, right? Every market has its own issues. It doesn't matter. When's the right time to buy?
Now,
Yeah, it always is. It's never going to change. I mean, do you need to buy a house? You need to buy a house and you need to buy it now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is what it is. So you just got to make sure that you're buying the right house in the right budget. So you just buy what you can afford. You never buy what you can't afford. Don't overspend, and you'll be good, right? If you're right, if you
Okay, so here's the question upon
give me
that.
a question. Wait, yeah. First, I want to see what kind of questions y'all have that have come up this week.
I don't think I've had questions, I've had more obstacles.
Really? Okay. What did you just ask Scott about?
Okay, that question
Mm-hmm.
is about flood elevation.
She's talking to you,
Oh.
so you might want to.
Flood elevation surge. So in the MLS, it states that the new construction home is to be built above flood elevation. And what is listed in the MLS as an A1 is taken from the flood map, but is not true. There's only a survey, but not a flood elevation. So when I email Ashley again to say, hey, can I have the actual quote and not just the declaration, is it the client's responsibility at this point
Yes.
to get the flood elevation and not the
No, it's the
person?
buyer's responsibility to get all the information they need on flood and flood insurance, and it's their due diligence period.
Okay,
But they're not accepted. So he's not gonna go pay for an elevation certificate, there's
Correct.
nothing accepted. So
okay,
you can ask for an elevation certificate to be issued to you 5 days of accept the contract. An
Okay.
inspection period to begin once receiving elevation certificate.
okay.
But the question is that shouldn't it already have that?
Yeah.
You can also ask them, but you also, guys buying a house from a new construction, that the construction people aren't completing the house.
Correct.
So I technically don't even trust the house already.
So, permitting guidelines for the parish is that the home has to be built above the base flood elevation. One of the documents that they require is a flood elevation certificate.
Mm.
So, obviously the contractor should have one. Does that answer your question?
Just gonna ask.
No, you haven't asked.
But also,
And-
I would wanna know why he didn't complete the home.
So what's a dead giveaway most of the time in today's market when you see these houses that are raised, that are new construction?
But it's a flood zone.
Probably, unless it's just the style of the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always two
Usually
things.
in our
It's usually
market,
usually it's in a flood zone or it's just a style of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the ones we had to build in Tammany Hills area, they just had, the houses had to be raised. It wasn't a flood zone, it just had it,
That's the look.
the permit had to be that it was a raised home.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with flood zone.
Because that was a restriction of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
They were going for that look. So, what else we got? What else y'all seeing in today's market?
Lack of inventory in lower price ranges.
Mm-hmm. So, lack of inventory. What else about the inventory?
I think there's a huge lack of newer construction homes and the first time home buyers.
So, new construction in, what price point is that?
I would
200
say,
and up.
I would say 150 to 200 range.
So under 200. Okay, what else are we saying?
Higher interest rates.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Buyers, more people.
Mm-hmm.
Buyers. I would say picky. Expectations.
Expectations, yeah. Better way to say that.
And for me, it's not even like lack of inventory, but it goes back to buyers' expectations. I find that what they're seeing is not what they have a vision of, the expectation for the price point. So that one or two homes that are like it, they go so quick
Yeah.
that we don't even have a chance to look at them.
That's because of Pinterest, man. It's really messing us up. And what is that?
HGTV.
Is really screwing up everything. But
Well, it's too, it's to go back to prices, with the new construction prices being up, it also raised the value of the other homes that aren't new, which then is outpricing newer first time home buyers as well.
so there's nothing in the market to feed the life cycle.
Yes.
So yeah, so everything has a life cycle, right? You got your little circles, your little circle of trust, like this. So the plankton eat the how's it work? The people eat the animals eat the little animals, those little animals eat
The plankton,
the plants and stuff like that. The plants eat the
water minerals from the soil.
minerals from the soil, and then this thing, yeah. So there's a circle of life and everything. I don't know, I should have paid attention in biology, but I know the circle looks like this, right?
Beginning and end.
Yeah, there's a beginning and an end. So you have your first time home buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your move up, right here, and then you got your like forever house,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. And then you got your move downsize,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you got your grave. Right there.
Nice, man.
And there's the cross at the church.
Right, let's get
So,
real up
anyway.
there.
Then you move to there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get, I'm sure y'all hear it. I hear it all the time. Last time I'm moving, it's gonna be down the street to the cemetery. So, back to this though. So, what we're seeing, and this is kind of what I've been explaining to builders, to try to get a builder to actually give us more of these, is that they're building here. And then they build in here and they build in here. They think they build in here, but the market's not stating that that's for them. And then the millennials think that they have to buy here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they already want that.
They already want
They
it,
want the 200,000 up of a home,
Right?
first time out.
but their bill. So let's think about that. What do you think an average? I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers. But what do you think someone coming out of college is making? Well, if they have a
30.
master's degree, because you
40,000.
basically have to go to school now. So let's say 40 to 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is on average, somewhat, maybe not even that, huh? That's even high. You're right. I think 50 is high.
I would say
32
40.
I
to
think between
40.
30 and 40.
Yeah.
Okay, let's lower it. 30 to 40, right? So they need 2 income households to even buy a house. So let's just say they're at the upwards of 65,000 what they bringing in to a house, right? So average schooling is how much, Travis? I know you got these figures.
Average schooling, I don't have those figures. Are you talking about for college?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think it costs on average?
$60,000 to $80,000 for the average person.
Yeah,
Mhm.
average person.
So say 60 on the lower end of 60, how much is that, and they don't have a note, I mean, and they had to pay a student loan, so how much is a student loan a month, Travis?
Oh man, if you're up in that 70 range, it's roughly about $760 a month.
Roughly. It's roughly $760.52. Alright. This is an estimate.
On the dot, $765.50.
So, if they're paying this already off top,
Uh-huh.
and then they have a car because everybody thinks they need a new one. We were just talking about this, right? Because they think that they need a new car coming right out of
Senior in high school.
senior in high school kind of thing. So they have a car note of say $400,
I had a jalopy.
right? But I know my car had a hole in the bottom. It was free. Somebody gave it to me free. What's them big old lady cars?
Lincoln Town
Buick
Hall.
No, that was my second car. I moved up to a Lincoln Town Hall.
Buick LeSabre.
Crown Vic? Yeah, like a Crown Vic. This sucker had holes, rusted
All top
at
of
the
it.
bottom.
But it was made of metal.
But it was made of metal. It was rusted. It was
Yeah,
made
but
of metal.
nowadays they're not made of metal, they're made of plastic. So
It don't matter. It don't matter. You can find an old one that's made of metal and just not pay $20,000. Anyway, back to this. So they already come into you and they have these first-time home buyers. They have a college bill. They have a car note. How much can they truly really afford?
Not a lot.
Should they be in this new construction 200? I mean 200 and above, or should they be below that?
You should well below that.
So we should be helping them understand this.
Well, that's
They
the
need
thing.
shopping.
150 and below.
They
Well,
should be.
Those first-time home buyers want the flashy stuff, aka why they got the brand new car. So they're not gonna go from wanting a brand new car to saying, "Ooh, I'm gonna go do a outdated fixer-upper home."
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather just go rent something.
Right. Right, and that's what you're facing. So that's part of what's going on in today's market, right? Since they can't get what they want, they're getting this via expectation discouragement, right? They get in the what's the word I was looking for? Oh well.
Expectation.
Yeah, they were getting the fussies about it. They get the fussies about it. I don't know what you call that. But anyway, so this market is gone. This does not exist. So since this isn't really here, it's not feeding these buyers. I mean, these homes. And if these people can't move out to that,
Well,
it's not feeding that.
well,
So
and
if we don't work on this,
and it's right now because the first-time home buyers who actually did get a first-time home buyer's
Mhm.
home in a proper price range. The house, the move-up house, is actually in the forever range now.
yeah.
Because there is no
There is no
'cause the
section.
move-up house is technically geared to the first-time home buyer's home,
Right.
so it's
So like the move up section is wide open in the price point.
so why is anybody gonna go from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 1,400 square feet to a move up $50,000 in price range? But that $50,000 price range is now a 1,800 square foot home, 3-bed, 2-bath.
Right.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
So I mean that's where we at.
So this is what we got. So we have the lack of inventory. We have there's no new constructions below to feed the market. The interest rates are up. What is it? A percentage? Since this
Still
year
at
so
all-time
far?
low.
1.3.
Still, so it's
Still
not,
all
obviously
time
it's not all time low because all time low.
Oh.
But it's still
Yeah.
very low
Two
compared
years.
to other
Still
times.
low.
Still low.
Low. And the expectations of buyers. So what can we do in today's market to overcome this?
Do you think it breeds more disappointment? Like, obviously, we want to get them to the lender so they can be pre-approved, so people can talk real numbers. I think, facing reality is a big step in going, oh, just like my client right now. She wants that $200,000 home because it's upgraded, it's in the right area for her. And she told me yesterday, I don't care if I have to eat ramen noodles. I probably won't have a furniture for the first 6 months. And I said, well, why do you want to do that to yourself? So I bring her to the house. That's the 175. She absolutely doesn't like it compared to the 200. So I sent her to the lender because you need to work backwards and know on this house, this is what your actual monthly note is going to be. Let's face facts. And then let's work to find you a house that you can still have furniture in. Like,
So having conversations?
Yeah.
Okay. So better conversations up front?
mm-hmm.
What kind of when should you be having these conversations?
At first, at your consult.
Buyer consult.
No,
You think?
It's on the phone.
On the phone.
Yeah, so we're waiting to have these conversations with them in the buyer consult. In fact, we should have this when we have an intake conversation, before we send them to the lender, to see what their expectations are, and if they're ready, willing, and able buyers. Because if they are ready, willing, and able buyers, you will find them something. It's just, they have to have all three.
Yeah.
They have to be ready, they have to be willing, and they have to be able.
And you have to be real and transparent.
And you have to be transparent with them to explain, hey, look, let me let you know something. This is what's going on. There's very low inventory on what the house note you're looking for. There's a very low inventory. The homes usually look like this, okay? This is the size that you're gonna have, probably, and here's the likelihood of what neighborhood you're gonna be looking in. Are you okay with that? And if they are, you know better where you have to do, right? And if they say, no, actually, I think I'm gonna go up in my price point. Okay, fantastic, I'm gonna go ahead and send you over to the lender. Let's see where you stand. So, guiding them ahead of time, consulting them about what's realistic in today's market, I think can help. What else can we be doing about better conversations? I think that's for buyer side. Now on the listing side, if you're listing a house, what can you be doing on the listing side?
Explaining the market to them more thoroughly to make sure they understand how much buying power the buyers have at the moment.
So it's back to this,
Yeah.
okay? So better conversations in a listing appointment about what's
I
going
would say
on
that
in the
in
market.
buying power, I would say what are the buyer's expectations these days?
It's this, right? It's all about this, buyer's expectations, because it's always about how much a house is gonna sell is on what a buyer's willing to pay and a seller's willing to take for it. It starts off with the buyer. You have to have a buyer first, right? So if you don't have a buyer, if you don't meet the expectations, you can't sell your house. So how do we help our sellers meet buyer expectations? What can a seller do?
Prior.
What
Price properly, I mean.
so pricing. So what do you mean by pricing?
I'm
Pricing.
seeing that buyers, the old conversation of saying, are you really gonna let his house go away for $5,000 difference, cause you know, it doesn't change that more, doesn't change, they don't care. They will not buy a house, if they wanna buy a house for $200,000 and your seller's not wanna give it away and you wanna sell for $205, they will go find something else.
But if there's a lack of inventory, how are they gonna find something?
They'll wait.
They'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, they'll wait,
Yeah.
they're not, the old line, the script of saying, hey, I mean, this is really, you're only looking at a
Right.
$15, $20 difference.
It's not working.
It's not working,
They
they
don't
don't care.
Okay, so what should the seller do?
Condition of the home needs to be as good as
So-
possible.
Condition. Condition meaning what?
Now, would you?
Giving buyers value before they even go see a home, like a pre-inspection.
Yes.
I think, like, man, look, they did a pre-inspection of this home. Look,
So
they're
pre-inspection,
they're willing to
pre-inspection.
share with you what's wrong with the home.
Or maybe even, they fixed everything they've seen in the
Yeah.
pre-inspection.
Right.
Yes.
So
Because that's
pre-inspection.
And share. I think people will
Has
melt
value.
with that.
So there's something that you have value in the condition,
Mhm.
is a pre-inspection.
Cause you can stand by your home.
Right, you're like, look, this is what I have. I've already had it pre-inspected. And in a seller's point of view, I think that this is a fantastic way to approach your listings in today's market, because in a seller's eyes, they can clearly understand what is going on with their house. Because, the thing is with sellers is that they only sell in a house once or twice. Most people sell a house once or twice in a lifetime, right? So they're not familiar with what a buyer is expecting in today's market. So doing this ahead of time and saying, because in their eyes, the home's in perfect condition, there's nothing wrong with the house, right?
It's always a 10.
It's always a 10. We ask, Travis,
Always a 10.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how can we rate your house
Maybe I
in
need
regards to
pressure wash or
condition?
something, but maybe paint.
Oh, it's an 8. It's always an 8.
Yeah.
It's always an 8, because an 8's sellable. Okay, well, what can we do to make it a 10? Oh, we could just paint the walls.
Paint the walls and
And
pressure
we
wash.
get there.
And the carpets need to be ripped out.
The carpets
and-
is disgusted. They got holes in the walls, the paneling is the old, you know those little screw-in things?
Mm-hmm.
Rusted exterior
Because they don't even
doors.
think about that,
You
right?
take one,
They don't
I think it's
understand.
fantastic.
Because they don't understand what today's buyers are looking for. That is our job as agents to explain to them, better conversations with them, and hey, here's today's buyer. This is what they're looking for. So setting up the expectation of today's buyer, right? Then go through, okay, here's their expectation. So set them up with that first. Then set them up condition-wise. Base their house not just on condition, their price, base it on forecasting what the market's gonna do. So what's the best way to look at market forecasting for pricing?
Well, you put me on the spot here. So the answer is
If you had this sheet in front of you,
yes. TMO reports.
okay, but what part of that TMO report would be the best influencing on forecasting for you?
Your pending ratio.
Pending ratio, exactly. So, solds are great, right? But what good is that gonna do us? It's just gonna tell us whether the house is gonna appraise or not. What the pending ratios do is explain to us that here's what was active, and this is what the buyers are willing to buy in
What's
today's
going on
market.
now, too.
What's
Not
going
just-
on now? What's not what's going on 6 months ago. Because 6 months is a long
That's a
time.
very long time.
You need to know what's happened in the last month.
That was before summer. People need to get out before summer.
Yeah. So condition wise for sellers is key, right? But number 2 is predicted pricing ahead of the market. So you have to be the market expert. You are your local economist. You basically need to wear an economic degree around your neck and say, I study the market, and actually do it. And that's why we look at these reports every week to say, hey, what's going on in today's market right now? What's going pending right now? And oh, by the way, let me look at that, because these houses are what the buyers in today's market decided to put a contract on. What do they look like? And what do you usually see? What do they look like?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent condition, right?
Pool.
Pool, it's got some bells and whistles
Kitchen has been updated.
For the same
bathrooms
price.
have been
Granite
updated.
counters.
Yeah, granite counters.
for the price,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right, exactly. Or it's gonna be willow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be a piece of junk. It's fine, because it's all about the price at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we can do those 2 things, what else can we do as a seller? If you are representing sellers, what can we do to help educate our sellers in today's market?
So we've gone through condition, pricing,
Conversations. So really just the conversation of the different steps, right? Buyer expectations, condition expectations, and pricing expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we could do this for sellers, that would probably be a win, wouldn't it?
I would say so.
That should be your whole entire listing appointment. It is, right? And then really leaving them with a valid to-do list.
Yeah.
Like, we're the experts. We can't say, okay, you need to, probably freshen up the paint. Well, that's kind of vague, right? Let's go ahead and say, okay, you know what, now that we've gone through this, I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through this entire house. We're gonna go room by room. You have a piece of paper? Okay, fantastic. Come on.
Now, do you
Really?
also,
This is what I do. Come on, all right, you ready? Okay, no, come on. All right, come on. Let's go. We gotta go through this house. All of this junk, take it out.
Everything off the tables.
You
Everything
see
off
all
the
of this? Take whatever, just take it all and it's gotta go away.
That's actually got some
Lakeview
tops on
needs to
one
be
side.
repainted, grass needs to be cut out front. That's exactly why that home is not selling. It looks like a bachelor lives there.
Because a bachelor does live
Because
there.
a bachelor
Correct.
does live there. But
Yes.
but the thing is that
Exactly. Take it out. Just take it out.
just take it out.
Yeah.
Put it, so get
Just
the
take
person
it
who's
out.
staying there, please cut the grass.
Right. Nobody's staying there. Right. Exactly. So but that's still sitting on the market with nothing.
With
And that's
nothing.
why.
And it's a
And
good
we are
house.
reducing the price because you know why? This didn't happen ahead of time. We rushed to get it on the market
Hmm.
and for it to perform the way it's performing. And that's what we see in results of.
Now, how do you, for the people?
And that goes back to, and guess what? As the listing agent, I allowed that to happen, right? So what part of it do you have responsibility in? Well, we can only tell them what we can tell them, right? But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. Who's gonna get blamed when it doesn't sell?
Us or you?
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be me. It's all me. Oh, that agent was terrible. Well, did you listen to what your agent told you to do? Right? Oh, keep the lights on, cut the grass, kind of stuff. So, but no, seriously, as a listing agent, you definitely want to go through it room by room and say, do this, repaint this. I know we're not stagers, but we are.
You have to be experts in everything.
You are. You are a stager. If you don't know what a buyer's looking for, go work with thousands of buyers and figure it out, right?
Right.
Just start going view houses. Or just start viewing what's going on the contract. And say, well, I just want to see what is pending? What's pending? Why is this house pending? You can clearly start to see the trend. It's condition and price. It's great condition, priced well. 2 keys, right? So, now, back to the buyers. To overcome this piece, do you think you can?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Educating them on what their
Overcomers come to
expectations should be.
understanding.
Can you help every buyer
No.
that's looking in today's market? And
Absolutely.
it's okay. You save them and you nurture them for the market when they are ready for that market. Okay? And it's okay. Because you are looking for what? Ready,
Now.
willing, and able buyers. So, if they're not ready, willing, and able, you're not going to be able to sell them anything in today's market anyway. And that is okay, because the market isn't right for them. And it's okay. It's okay. You make friends, you ask them for referrals, become a client for life, and when they are ready, they're going to call you, right? So, any questions about that?
Why not?
What's your question?
I said, why not?
Bueno?
Good.
Good. He's good. He's good.
Spanish.
He's good.
I just had Mexican food.
Kim, what do you think?
Good.
How's your sandwich?
I left some for you.
Thank you. You're so crazy.